Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki spiritual healer. And I just wanted to give you some of these healing ways that I was able to escape from negative energy and negative attack. And if you have been watching my channel, what I have been doing is teaching you spiritual defense methods given to you through the holy books, given to you by the holy prophets to the holy church, through the holy Quran. There are different ways of spiritual healing. I choose this way because this is the way that I was able to escape a lot of negative energy, given by my family, psychic attacks, and let's get into that portion of it a little bit. Because when you are having people in your family, that are constantly comparing you to other people or family members, or, there's nothing that you can do in your family that will be good enough for them. And they're, constantly attacking your self-confidence. They're constantly attacking the way that you look, the way that you sound, and they're belittling you. And they'll do this in front of people. So those are psychic attacks upon your mind, upon your body, upon your health, to keep you in a low vibration, to keep you in low self-esteem. So one of the ways that I would escape those negative attacks, not only did I tell them the truth, but I would constantly purify my surroundings, and like I said, I would use the holy waters. I would use the holy books, pray over, a cup of water. When I saw that those, parents or those siblings, they were, having some kind of conversations, secret conversations, attacking me, when I could hear them on the phone attacking me, then one of the ways that I would defend myself is using the spiritual water. A lot of times as a teenager, I would just mop my room. I was a very neat person, even though I don't want to go and wash 12 scarves or niqabs a week, but I'm a very clean person. So I would mop my room out with different kinds of spiritual waters that I had prayed over, holy water that I had prayed over. So I would make my own holy water, because what they had actually taught me is different herbs and rituals from the Holy Bible, different herbs and rituals, cleansing herbs and rituals in nature. So I could use those, some clove water and mop my room out. My whole room would smell like cloves. I could use that same water, and sprinkle it in my bath water. I could use that same water and sprinkle it, in my bed, or anywhere that I felt that I was being attacked, or those negative persons, entities, narcissists would come in my room at night and just stand there and look at me in order to silently, send negative attacks. So I found out that whenever I was putting certain water, holy water, and praying over my water, those entities could not enter. When those entities could not enter into my room, then the entities ultimately got angry and upset, and they came and took the Holy Bible from me. So I've been using these holy waters for a very long time, since a very early age. So, at which point, I didn't let that stop me. I just went, to another side of the family and got another holy book and started reading it. Now I got knowledge of 2 holy books, And now I have to choose between which one, has the strongest commanding power for what I need it for, because I'm understanding that I'm around a lot of narcissists, a lot of demonic people, siblings, flying monkeys. I'm around people that ultimately does not have my best interest at hand. And as I'm seeing it now, as I'm looking at it now, they never did. And so then you have to ask yourself, well, what about, the people who are supposed to be, your kinfolks, who's supposed to be your family members, extended family members. And when you're finding out that they were in on it, that they were a part of it, then you have to ultimately understand that prayer, that being a part of your soul, knowing who you are, prayer, fasting, having humility, having respect for yourself, having good character, it has taken me a long way. So, I have been able to, use these waters, and take a bath in those waters. And, and I must say that God has restrained men's hands from me. I haven't been able to, get into any kinds of disagreements or physical altercations, and a lot of them, unless I initiated it. But, God has restrained men's hand from me. And, I was constantly purifying myself with the holy word of God, with the holy baths. I was, if I felt sick, if I felt like I had eaten something, I was constantly cleansing myself with, the holy word of God, the bitter herbs, using what God had given me to cleanse negative energy out of me. Different kinds of baths. Sometimes I had to use a even stronger bath. A lot of times I use the hyssop and a camphor bath to drive the negative energy out of, my body, off of me, away from me. And ultimately, these are the type of things that we have to do in order to understand that negative people, they are everywhere. But they are specific, familiar people, familiar spirits that are in your family, that they feel like they are attached to you. They feel like they are blood. They feel like they know you. And they feel like that they have the upper hand. So when you start to use the holy word against these negative entities, they don't have a leg to stand on. They have nothing that they can do except for what they've been doing. The smear campaign. They have, the abusiveness. And ultimately, when they cannot, penetrate your shield that God has given you, when they cannot penetrate, when they cannot take what God has given you, it will ultimately end in abandonment. So, that's how I removed myself from these narcissists that were around me. And each and every one, and it goes back to, as I'm looking at it now, friends, every time that, I wash myself in the cleansing waters of hyssop and cancer, those people would, fall away. They will fall away from my life. They would, I wouldn't see them anymore. Or they would move far away. They would go back to, Alaska or wherever they came from, Nebraska. Anytime I cleanse myself from the negative energy and I prayed over my waters, I used the healing methods that God has given us to stop negative energy in its tracks, to stop negative energy from growing on your mind, psychic attacks on your money, on your body, destiny swaps, trauma bonds. Anytime I use this type of cleansing method, anytime that I fast and prayed and use this type of cleansing method, and I used to tell, my mother, I'm not hungry. I don't want Wendy's. I don't want hamburgers. Let somebody else eat it. I don't want it. Anytime that you're fasting and praying and you're using these kind of cleansing methods where, God has controlled your intake so that you can, fight off the negative energy that they're trying to send. They're trying to send unaliving spells. They're trying to send sicknesses towards you. They're trying to send confusion. And many times they'll outright tell you that, I was hoping that, you fell in something, that something happened to you, and these are the type of things that you can expect from narcissists. They'll tell you what they were planning. And when it doesn't happen and it has to be returned to sender, I've seen these people, after I've taken these spiritual baths, after I've taken these fasting and praying and with these spiritual baths, I've seen these people fall by the wayside. I've seen these people run from me. I've seen these people become so angry, but God has restrained their hand from me, and they could do nothing but, take the chastisement, the punishment that God has sent to them. And I'm talking about in my own family. I'm talking about on jobs. I'm talking about, husbands. I'm talking about, their families. People, the people who were supposed to be immediate families. People in the community who had set up my downfall, because I rose from a place of, going to work every day, and now the whole neighborhood knows me. I'm getting more money than other people, and people are seeing that, and they're becoming jealous. There's some things that, you cannot hide, and there's some things that I had to learn a lesson that I would never do again. But for the most part, God saved me from a lot of the attacks. He reversed a lot of the attacks that these people were sending at me, and he cleansed me from those negative energies that they were trying to send, with the unaliving spells, with, the sicknesses, with the permanent illnesses, and, it returned to sender. So I hope that you are enjoying my channel. I hope that you receive these messages and the cleansing ways that I was able to escape the negative energy, psychic attacks that were sent upon me and sent upon my life at a very early age. Please like, share, and subscribe. Book your one-on-one consultations. Book your live sessions. Book your life coaching sessions. I'm High Oracle, Reiki spiritual healer. Assalamu alaikum.